What's up, everybody? This is Jude from Section 116 on ArgosEndzone.com. It's time for Week 3 action as the Argos travel down to the nation's capital to take on the Redblacks. As always, click the Show More button on the YouTube channel, jump to the chapter you want to see, and we'll get things rolling with a look back at what happened last week. Coming off the big season-opening win against the rival Ticats, the Argos are hoping to keep this ball rolling as they face the BC Lions. What we got, quite frankly, was a first-half snooze fest of nothing but field goals, as it was a battle for field position. In the second half, the Argos offense went flat, and BC was able to put some points on the board. The Argos defense played well for most of the game, but there was only so long you can hold that Lions offense off the board, especially when they're not getting anything happening on the offensive side of the ball. There was a lot of people that started to feel in the crowd that they were looking at the 2016 Argo offense as it became the short dink and dunk to the sides over again, which is what we saw a lot last year. I think that might be contributed to the missing piece of Brandon Whitaker. Just talking out loud, but a guy that consistently can catch it out of the backfield, but also pick up that blitz that maybe Ricky Ray wasn't feeling quite as comfortable in his own backfield without that safety net picking up that late blitzer. So it was a frustrating game, quite frankly. Like I said, the excitement, the energy wasn't there in the first half, and then it's almost like they didn't show up for the second half. So there was a lot of feeling in the back of the neck. Like, oh dear, is this the team that we're going to see this year? And last week was just a fluke, but hey, it's still early, and we got fireworks. We got Canada Day fireworks afterwards, so not a total loss. Week 3 sees the Argos travel to Ottawa to take on the Grey Cup champion Redblacks. You know, I'm not going to lie, that still seems a little weird to say that. They're only starting their 4th season in the Canadian Football League. Season 2, they appeared in the Grey Cup. Season 3, they won it. It's, hey, I mean, a tip of the cap to that organization of what they were able to put together and the players that made it happen. I mean, you can't argue with the results. And speaking of results, if you've noticed in the past, something interesting always happens at the Toronto games in Ottawa. It's like a big shootout or crazy catches. So if you're in the Ottawa area, I definitely recommend checking the game out in person if you can get some tickets. I heard that they sell out pretty quickly, but I would definitely check that out. As for the Argos fans, a lot of them will be looking at what could have been with quarterback Trevor Harris taking snaps in Ottawa. Again, for those that aren't aware, he was a backup in Toronto for a couple of years, and the Argos made the decision to go with Ricky Ray and let Harris go as a free agent who ended up signing with Ottawa. I still believe that Ricky Ray is one of the best quarterbacks in the league when he's healthy, but when you're talking about that age gap and the commitment, again, this season is very, very early, so we're going to see how things progress here. But there's no question that Ottawa's going to go as far as the right arm of Trevor Harris will allow them to go. They got a great receiving core that's got to be contained. The defense is strong where it needs to be. It's not an overpowering, dominant defense. It's not like that Calgary one, but it's definitely very strong, very committed. They play their positions well. So Toronto's got to be able to find the holes. So they've got to give Ricky Ray time, keep him upright, and he will find the holes. Brandon Whitaker is returning this week. I think that's going to be a huge impact on the offensive side of the ball, and that could be the deciding factor in terms of his ability to pick up that late blitz, giving Ricky Ray more time to find players downfield. Again, the big difference between the two games that have happened so far has been, in my mind, Brandon Whitaker, because he was there for game 1. Ricky Ray has a career game passing. He's not there for year 2, and they go back to the quick little dink and dunks. I mean, that was really the only change. So, in my opinion, this is going to be a better offensive team this week with the addition of Brandon Whitaker again. Let's see. Who should be watching for in Week 3? As I mentioned actually in the other 2 segments, when the Argos have got the ball, I'm looking at number 3, running back Brandon Whitaker. He's a solid runner, consistent ball mover, out of the backfield on the ground, is able to pick up the pass coming out of the backfield, and the most important thing for this offense is the ability to pick up the blitz, keeping him back in pass protection to catch that late blitzer or that double move, so giving Ricky Ray more time to find those guys downfield and make plays. I think he's going to be the key to this game, keeping an eye on number 3, Brandon Whitaker. Now, when the Argos are on defense, I'm looking at number 90, Cleon Lang. The Canadian Board defensive lineman is a huge handle for any offensive line to take care of. And he's also coming off a Grey Cup victory with the Redblacks last year. He was a late pickup after being cut by the Miami Dolphins, I believe, of the NFL. So he may have a little bit of familiarity with that with that offensive line. Hopefully, he's got a couple little tips for how to get around some of these guys and some of their weaknesses. I'm really counting on him to have a huge impact in this game. So again, when the Argos have got the ball, number 3, Brandon Whitaker, and when they do not have the ball, number 90, Cleon Lang. Prediction time. So, for those who've been paying attention, I've been mentioning the Brandon Whitaker thing quite a bit, and I think that's going to result in the same error show that we saw in Week 1, having him back in the lineup. Now, will the Argos be able to prevent the error show from Ottawa on the other side? They did a heck of a job against Hamilton. They did not allow an offensive touchdown against Hamilton, and it took the second half before it was against BC. So, we're starting to see if this trend continues. Sorry, I guess we don't want the trend to continue because that means that they're going to score repeatedly against the Argos. So what we want to see is getting back to that Week 1 defense or the first half of Week 2, something that can stifle and stymie. But you're not going to be able to deny Ottawa from being able to move the ball, gets a couple points on the board, so we just want to keep them out of the end zone, right? So I'm picturing like a 33-3 type of score. And as I'm saying this out loud, that's a lot of threes this week in terms of being Week 3, keeping an eye on number 3, Brandon Whitaker, and it was all threes on the score. We may need to talk about this, Coach. That'll wrap things up for Week 3. Hope you had some fun. As always, like, comment, share. Feel free to keep your comments about the Argonauts. I'm not anti-Jeep or pro-Jeep, but, whatever you like, follow us on our social media feeds. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You may be watching on YouTube right now. And, yeah, feel free to let your friends know. Who knows? We might post something you actually enjoy. Maybe something about Jeeps. But it's going to be a heck of a game there in Ottawa. Again, we're talking about the Grey Cup champs. They've got can we call it a banner? They tried. But they've got the little section there for the 2016, they're the team to beat, okay? They're definitely the team to beat. So it's a game that the Argos are going to be up for. It's another division rival. All these points are going to matter. Anybody remembers last year, the winner of the division had a losing record in the league. So points are at a premium, especially at a division rival. So it's going to be a fun game. It's early in the season, so a lot of guys are still trying to prove themselves. Should be a lot of fun. Like I said, that always happens in these games in Ottawa. So 7 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be a blast. And until next time, this is Jude from Section 116. ArgosOnZone.com. Remind you, we ride the rail. We ride it hard.
Toronto, go Argos, go!